Have you ever woken up in the dead of night to the sound of a confession? Not one meant for you, but one whispered into the dark meant only for a dream? The night my world shattered wasn't loud. It was a murmur, a ghost of a sound from the woman sleeping beside me. Her lips parted, and a name slipped out, a name that wasn't mine. It was Mark. Then she smiled, a soft, secret smile in her sleep, and whispered, "Don't worry." He has no idea. The glowing red numbers on the alarm clock read 3:17 a.m. outside our Chicago brownstone. The city was silent, but inside my head a siren was screaming. That was the moment I knew my 15 years of marriage were a lie. And that was the moment the man my wife knew died. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The first crack in the facade had appeared 3 months earlier, disguised as a work trip. Sarah, my Sarah, a high-powered art consultant, had always traveled. New York, Miami, Los Angeles, it was the rhythm of our life. But this trip to Dallas felt different. The calls were shorter, her voice distant, echoing from what sounded less like a hotel room and more like a crowded bar on a Tuesday night. When she came home, she carried a chill with her, an invisible barrier that hadn't been there before. She'd started guarding her phone like it was a state secret, the screen angled away from me, a nervous tick I'd never seen. I'd find receipts from restaurants I'd never heard of. Places on Rush Street she claimed she visited with clients who, when I casually asked later, had no memory of the meetings. She was building a second life, brick by invisible brick, right under my roof. She became a master of manipulation, turning my questions back on me. "Why are you so insecure all of a sudden, James?" It's exhausting. Her words were like ice, chipping away at my sanity until I started to believe her. Maybe I was the one who was broken. The villains, Sarah, and this ghost named Mark, felt untouchable, wrapped in a cloak of arrogance. They were laughing at me. I could feel it in the way she'd de-smirk at a text message, or the way she'd de-hum a song I didn't recognize. One rainy Thursday I found it, a credit card statement tucked into a book. A charge for 2 nights at the Thompson Hotel in Austin. On dates she was supposedly at a conference in Miami, and beneath it, a charge for a couple's massage. That was it. The floor gave way. I stumbled out of the house, walking for hours through Lincoln Park. The rain soaking through my coat, my heart a cold, dead weight in my chest. I wasn't just sad. I was humiliated, erased. That night, sitting in my car, the city lights blurring through my tears, the grief curdled into something else, something cold and hard and sharp. Revenge. I wasn't going to break things or scream. I was going to dismantle her world piece by piece, just as she had dismantled mine. The first step was proof. It's undeniable, soul-crushing proof. I bought a voice-activated recorder no bigger than a thumb drive and hid it under our bed. I started a new secret bank account, contacted a divorce lawyer, the most ruthless shark in Chicago, and put him on retainer. For the next 2 months, I played the part of the oblivious, slightly pathetic husband she believed me to be. I listened to the recordings. I heard their whispered calls, their plans, their laughter at my expense. I heard them on North Avenue Beach, her voice giddy as she told him she loved him. I heard him smug and confident, telling her I'd never be smart enough to figure it out. Each word was a nail in her coffin. I documented everything, the secret credit cards, the hotel bookings, the timeline of her lies. I hired a private investigator who followed them to a cozy little restaurant in the Gold Coast, capturing photos of them kissing in a booth. Looking for all the world like a happy couple, final trap was legal and social, a two-front war. My lawyer drew up divorce papers that cited the infidelity with a mountain of evidence, petitioning for a complete forfeiture of her claim to my assets. Based on a prenup she thought I'd forgotten we'd signed 15 years ago, the social trap was for her anniversary party, a grand affair she'd insisted on. A celebration of our perfect marriage. She invited all her high society friends, her colleagues, her family. The night of the party, our home was filled with laughter and champagne. Sarah was radiant, a queen in her castle, holding my hand and telling everyone how lucky she was. I'd never felt more detached, like I was watching a movie of someone else's life. Waited until her father, a man I'd always respected, stood to give a toast. As he raised his glass, I stepped forward. "Before we continue," I said, my voice calm and clear, cutting through the room, I have a little video I'd like to share. Tribute to my wife. On the large projector screen she'd rented for a photo slideshow, a new video began. It wasn't photos of our vacations. It was the pictures from the restaurant, the hotel receipts, the text messages, blown up for all to see. And then, the audio. The courtroom fell silent as the recording played Sarah's voice, whispering in her sleep, "Mark, he has no idea. The room was a tomb." Her father's glass slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. Her friends stared, their faces a mixture of shock and pity. Sarah's face went white, then a deep, blotchy red. She looked at me, her eyes screaming a betrayal she was only now beginning to understand. The next day she was served with divorce papers. Her firm fired her. Her family disowned her. Her friends vanished. She was ruined, a ghost in the life she'd so carefully constructed. I sold the house and moved downtown into a sterile high-rise overlooking the Chicago River. Sometimes, late at night, I stand by the window and watch the city lights, thinking about the silence in that room after the truth was revealed. It wasn't a victory, it was just the end. The last time I saw her, she was a stranger on the other side of a courtroom, her face hollowed out by the consequences she never saw coming. The end.